So I think we have 0 seconds for questions, but we'll take 1 or 2. It's just before lunch. Come on, guys. No question. Okay, I had a few. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm blind.
Was just interested in any other observations you had about the exchange of value, because in today's, not the future, but today, most consumers overvalue their data relative to what the rest of the ecosystem actually thinks it's worth.
So
consumer
valuing the data is the question, that they don't value it today.
No, it's the opposite. Most consumers, when you ask them, think their data is worth more than the rest of us in this room think it's worth.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Everybody thinks their data is worth more than it really is, individually.
Yeah. I don't think we're experts in this room, and we can't answer that question about what it's worth. The individual may have an idea of what it's worth, but at this point in time, there's no way to monetize except by what people offer in a value exchange.
I think back in a few years ago, I saw kind of survey or poll or something like that. Young people were okay to be paid $1,000 or $2,000 to have their data used, basically. You know, when you talk about this, you talk about value, you talk about cost, you talk about price, and from an individual standpoint, this is what people were estimating worth their data, right? This is the only data point that I have on this.
There have been some studies about what people think their data is worth, and it depends on the type of data, but it goes all the way from, let's say, $1 a month or to $3 a month, but up to maybe 25 or 30. Yeah? So it's definitely inconclusive, and it depends a lot on whom you're asking for.
I think the conclusion of that is definitely that data is nothing without its usage. And when you don't think about what you can do with your data, and other people think what they can do with their data, with your data, then the values start increasing dramatically. Other question?
One element of that value equation is that everybody's going to think different things about their data and have different, call it, need for that. One idea about this is that for whatever data a person's worth or willing to share, they get paid accordingly. It's a sliding scale. It's not $1 or $5 or 10. It's a matter of how much frequency. It's a matter of how much depth, of how much breadth they're willing to share with you or what you're asking for. So it could be a request for 5 cents a month to $50 a month, depending on the person and their net worth and how they spend, the product, the customer, and the usage of the data. But that makes data an absolutely sliding marketplace. There is no price of it. It's individual, and it's the transaction-based that would make the value of data.
Another question?
I'd just like to go back to Shawn's point about the general data protection regulation. I think in terms of the authorities getting involved in this area, the evolution of the general data protection regulation has really shown us that we as an industry have to put the consumer at the heart of our discussions, that we have to really think forwards as to what we want and how we can build trust with consumers and how we can create this whole framework. So we as IAB Europe, we have a whole team of people focused on that regulation in Brussels right now and in helping people to unravel it. So we really need the perspectives of all of the industry to come in one place and help to drive that forward. So that's more of a comment than a question, but I think it's worthwhile us all really focusing on it, because what Brussels has done is something that other markets and other regions are going to follow, as you very well say. Okay?
GDPR fundamentally flips on its head the current ways in which we use data. Most of the ways we're using data today are illegal, Jan 1, 2018. Take that back to your legal department and your media companies, your media buyers, like in a corporation, and it fundamentally alters the way in which the relationship and buying of media will change over the next few years.
Can you give example of data points that are not legal, Jan 18?
So, and correct me if I get any of this wrong, I'm not an expert per se, but GDPR effectively says you need permission to use somebody's data and or sell it, resell it. You can't just take their data, mash it together, sell it to somebody, or you can't take their data and use it to targeting advertising. You fundamentally can't do it. It's fundamentally illegal without their permission. They have control over the data. They have the ability to tell you what you can and can't do. It makes sense. As an individual, you'd say, yes, I want to do this. In the GDPR, it lays it out pretty clearly. It says these are the rules. They don't have all the logistics of how that'll work. But fundamentally, everything we're doing today, when we take data from multiple sources, pack it together, do insights, and sell it, resell it, target, is all fundamentally illegal January 1st, 2018.
Looks like swap at the stock exchange. Other question? Everybody's hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.